Welcome to the At Leisure Podcast. This is a show about sports, video games, movies, and just basically the things we do with our leisure time. My name is Brett, and I'm here with a returning guest, Isaiah. Welcome back, man.
Thank you. Glad to be back.
And we have a new guest, Zach. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, glad to be here, man.
And if you're just joining, we're continuing our Big 12 college football preview series where we're just getting to know all the Big 12 schools with someone who is a fan of each team. This podcast, we're going to look at the Baylor Bears, and I hope you guys did not listen to last year because last year we were pretty down on the Bears early, and I had them going 6-6 before the season, and it kind of dogged them the whole season. But obviously y'all got the last laugh just kicking Texas Tech's butt at home on Patrick Mahomes Day. So I guess let's just get into – I have no idea what to expect from Baylor this season, so let's just get into the stuff y'all are excited for. What do you think Baylor's greatest strengths are going to be?
Well, I honestly think you and everyone else is unsure what to expect. I think you ask most Baylor fans what they think about Baylor this season. It feels like there's more uncertainty around this team this year than there has been in a while, but I think in terms of strengths I'm most excited about, probably starts with the running game. I think we're going to have a pretty good running back room this year, especially in Jeff Grimes. Year 3 of his wide zone scheme has been something that has been really pivotal. It's one of the reasons why Aranda even brought him in from BYU was this wide zone scheme that is becoming more and more popular in college football. And kind of the two guys that are going to run it, Richard Reese and Dominic Richardson, I think are just really two 1-2 punch guys that I'm really excited about. Reese had a great year last year as a true freshman. I think he way overperformed his potential last year. And so I think as a Baylor fan, there's a lot to be excited about, especially in a scheme that is only getting more and more kind of ingrained in Baylor's system. So I'm pumped about the running back room. I'm also probably pumped on I'll give it a defensive one as well. I think our D-line is going to be pretty good. We returned 3 veterans, Gabe Hall, Garmin Randolph, TJ Franklin, all that upperclassmen that are NFL borderline guys, at least NFL athleticism, NFL size. And so I definitely expect them to take steps forward this year. And I think our line was pretty good last year, frankly. There are other parts of our defense that were not as good for sure. But
did y'all get pressure? I feel like that was something that y'all lacked. When you think of a defensive line, you're thinking of guys getting sacks and getting a lot of pressure on a quarterback.
Right. I think so. The run defense was decent last year. The sack numbers, you're right. The sack numbers are actually lower. If you look at our sack numbers, we actually were second to last in the conference in terms of.
So that's what I thought, but I was second guessing there.
No, you're right. Actually getting to the quarterback, but the pressures, quarterback hurries, kind of other measures of pressure, Baylor's D-line actually performed decently well, probably still behind expectations. You got to remember last year, we were preseason number 1. Everyone expected the defense to be super good. And yeah, definitely underperformed relative to expectations.
Yeah. And I would just echo many of the things that Zach already mentioned. It kind of seems like, Aranda, yes, has had a couple of years now under his belt. And obviously a defensive-minded guy. And so there is some excitement on that side of the ball always. But at the same time, I think the season is I guess we're just going to have to wait and see what's going to happen. But to Zach's point as well with the running backs, that is something that is going to be exciting. Richard Reese took 37% of, all rushes last year and almost finished with 1,000-yard season being a true freshman, which is wild. And now sharing the backfield with 4-star transfer from OSU in Dominic Richardson, who also handled the ball fairly well at OSU. So it's going to be an interesting backfield to see. And it looks like Aranda is kind of holding his cards close and is not willing to say who's going to get the start right now, and just going to run them kind of as a tandem and ride whoever has the hot hand that day. So it'll be interesting to see. They also have some other things coming in, which I'm looking forward to, but we'll get into that as the podcast goes.
Sounds good. I tell you what a perfect combination of running backs too. I just feel like you've got the bruiser and Anderson, and then the speed and elusiveness in Reese. I remember watching Reese last year and being super impressed. So how can you not be excited to see what he's going to do?
Yeah, you got to remember he's also 5'9", and he was probably running at 165 last year.
Yeah, so light.
Which is tiny. which is tiny. So I mean, yeah, Dominic Richardson's like a little bit bigger guy. Hopefully he can take some of the. We also did lose. Well, you have to remember Baylor also this year lost their number 2, number 3 running backs from last season, like in terms of yardage. Quaylon Jones, Craig Squirrel Williams, both those guys are gone. So I mean, yeah, Dominic Richardson's gonna need to carry a pretty big load this year,
which he can do. He's done.
Yeah, which he's done. Like he's obviously he's an experienced back coming from a Big 12 school.
All right, those are things to get excited about. What about weaknesses? Anything you're worried about? Anything that gives you pause about going into the season?
I mean, I think there's a lot of things I'm pretty hesitant about. Number one is I think our DB play has the potential to be really bad this year. I'm hopeful that it's not, but both starting corners not returning. The number 3 guy in terms of talent, AJ McCarty, found out like a month ago that he's left the program. So we're really like relying on 2 transfers, a Johnny Carter and Isaiah Dunson. Isaiah Dunson's a transfer from Miami, former 4-star guy. A Johnny Carter from Utah State who literally got on campus 2 weeks ago to really carry the load, especially with some of these. And I guess we'll get to it when we get to the schedule prediction, but I am concerned about some of the firepower on offense for some of these other Big 12 teams and our secondary's ability to handle it. So I think that's going to be a weak point. I think teams are definitely going to look to expose us on the back end.
Yeah, I would agree. The DBs is a weak point, but also, I mean, even the linebackers. I mean, losing the most productive linebacker we had in Dylan Doyle. Finished the year with, I think, 88 tackles, and that's, solo and assisted. But regardless, I mean, that's a lot of production you're losing on the defense in the middle of the field, especially in a conference that can spread the ball, but a conference that also is not afraid to run the ball, which now, I mean, the conference has gotten a little bit easier with Bijan out the way, giving everybody trouble, and Deuce Vaughn for that matter. Yeah. So there is a little bit to ease in that run game, but that middle of the field is also going to be, I think, a factor for the Bears this year of trying to just shore up along all of those lines. It's we will see what happens.
Man, I guess we'll open this can of worms right here. So weaknesses, I had 2 question marks. I said QB, receiver. QB, I'm going to be honest, I've never been a Shapen fan. So until he lit us up, I was like, this guy might not be worth he's a great player, obviously. He's in college. But the idea of y'all giving him the keys over Bohannon, I've been against that the whole time.
100%.
And so I'm just wondering what y'all's mindset is.
All right, let me defend Shapen for a bit. Okay, I think Shapen last year got a lot of flack that wasn't really his fault. Highest drop rate in the conference by a decent margin from his receivers. He got absolutely no help last year from a bunch of underclassmen. Gavin Holmes has torn his ACL twice, was out there as a 5th-year senior, butterfingers on the field. Monterey Baldwin gets hurt midway through the season, is not running at his full potential. He's out there working with former walk-on Josh Cameron and a bunch of redshirt freshman wide receivers. I think a quarterback play is very largely dependent on your receiver's ability to get open to, run their routes properly. I mean, obviously your O-line protection is a key factor. And while Shapen definitely has made his fair share of bonehead mistakes, some throws he made that you're like, dude, what are you doing? I don't think it was all his fault. I think he has the potential to be a good Big 12 quarterback. I don't think he has the potential to be a really great Big 12 quarterback. But I think on a team like Baylor, where the wide zone scheme already is so run heavy, if we can find success on the ground, I don't think Shapen needs to be this amazing quarterback for us to have a strong season.
Yeah.
So I think Shapen gets a little bit too much hate than he deserves.
I like it.
Defend the boy a little bit.
Quarterback, baby.
Yeah.
Hey, we brought in Sawyer Robertson from Mississippi State, and Shapen won the job.
Well,
So
I mean, to give Sawyer Robinson, is that what you said?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that's to give him like he's coming into a totally different offense. Like to go to the spread to what
That's
y'all are
true.
running is
That's
just
true.
like he's learning a new language basically. So he'll be there in the wings. I think during the season, and I think it's shaping as a bad game. People are they're gonna be chanting for that guy from Mississippi State.
It's fair. Fair.
Listen, I will also preface this. I am a Baylor fan by marriage because my wife is alum. So I will disagree with Zach completely and side with a Texas Tech boy, which I am all for throwing Shapen under the bus. I was all about Bohannon, and I was surprised at the change when it did happen. But that said, to Zach's point, I mean, he did, despite all the things that he had to deal with last year with receivers getting injured and just some of his own bonehead mistakes. I mean, he still finished the season with almost 2,800 yards, passing yards, and his completion percentage also wasn't bad in that as well. And so, that said, we had some receivers leave, and we have some transfers coming in, which may help. I mean, we have Kentron Jackson from Arkansas, who is a 4-star transfer that may help out in that area. But we will see. I mean, in all of that, Shapen definitely does have my respect. The dude is tough. I mean, you watch games and you're like, why is this dude still in the game right now? Just take him out.
Yeah.
There were many moments where I was like, yeah, this dude needs to go. But he's a warrior, and it is entertaining to watch.
I mean, when he hit the field, I think a lot of people thought that Charlie Brewer cloned himself and
Oh my gosh, dude!
somehow
So true.
somehow made it like they even look alike. Like and they have the same
it's
moxie,
weird.
the same like ability to just run headfirst into a huge middle linebacker and probably
And
get
lose the
concussed.
battle.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. So I think Shapen's got a better arm than Brewer did, though. So
Yeah,
more,
I think it's proven out that Brewer was not as good as we thought he was going to be.
no.
Receiver wise, though, I mean, you're talking about how bad they were. Are they upgrading? I mean, I think
Yeah.
Bowen is still probably your best receiver, right?
Yeah, so Monterey Baldwin and
Baldwin's
Keytron
nice.
Jackson. Yeah, Isaiah made a good point. I think Keytron Jackson's going to be a real impact player for us coming in from Arkansas. I mean, listen, I'm not comparing him to CeeDee Lamb, but I have seen many comparisons to CeeDee Lamb.
Boy, I would be
You didn't
happy.
hear that from me, all right? You didn't hear that from me. Just saying that it's making its rounds around Baylor media circles that this guy is the next CeeDee Lamb. So take that for what it's worth. But I think he's at least going to be
You wouldn't put it as a weakness anymore, then.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
I think if anything, it's a borderline strength. I think Monterey Baldwin is a really
Addressed.
talented player.
Yeah.
Monterey Baldwin was the fastest player in college football technically last year because he hit the highest speed, 22.8 miles per hour on a play against OSU that clocked like the highest, fastest play the whole season.
They are also saying that Daniel Jones is faster than Lamar Jackson. with the same data.
That's the radar guns, I guess.
Bias radar guns.
Yeah.
I do think that the receiver play will be better this year than it was last year. But I think it also, like, for us to have a good season, it needs to be better.
I saw a stat, and I'm not sure if it's true or not, but in y'all's last 4 games, Shapen did not reach a 60% completion rate in those in those losses. And I'm wondering, is that a combination of the receivers and Shapen, or is it like, do you think that's going to happen again this year, or?
Yeah, I mean, I think those last 4 games, like the wheels just fell off like across the board, and so, I mean, I don't doubt that's true. I mean, that probably sounds right. I mean, we got beat by K-State 31-3.
Right.
I mean,
yeah,
that's
Nice.
A few of those other games we were in, but yeah, I mean, I don't doubt that Shapen definitely needs to be more mentally tough this year than he was last year. I mean,
inaccurate.
Inaccurate.
I feel like he's just an inaccurate QB there at the second half.
Well,
not against Tech, but against everyone else.
That's right. We find our best, we find our best stuff against
digging
Tech.
deep to beat us.
That's right.
We've kind of touched on some of them, but we've got important returning players. Obviously, Shapen. We've talked about Reese. Is there any other guys y'all want to highlight?
I mean, Baldwin would be the only one, but I mean, we've spent time talking about him. We'll just see if his production increases this year at wide receiver. But I don't know, Zach. You have any returners on your
Yeah.
list?
I'll give maybe two more. One, Drake Dabney. Drake Dabney played backup
Yeah.
tight end to Ben
Yep.
Sims last year. Ben Sims is basically the main pass catching tight end, but Drake Dabney got a lot of snaps, especially towards the back half of the season. And in this scheme, I mean, one of the biggest questions I had was who's going to replace Ben Sims, because we went to him so often in the red zone. Like he was our number one red zone solution. And so I think that Drake Dabney is a great replacement for him, and is probably going to be the guy that Jeff Grimes goes to in the red zone again, or at least I hope so. He's a talented kid, at least from what I saw last year, the flashes that I saw. And then probably, I mean, TJ Franklin, he's defensive end, 6'5", 268, a lot of pressures last year. From what I've heard from like the Baylor media guys over the summer, he's just taken some massive leaps forward, which take that for what it's worth. I mean, they say that everyone says that, but for this guy, it's for sure true, as a Baylor homer, I gotta believe it.
That's so true. We got a guy drafted in the top 10 rounds, and this year they're like, we got guys that are better. We're better than him. Like, you won't believe it. We're even better than we were last year. I'm like, okay, sure.
Yeah, I think Baylor is kind of the king of. Maybe I'm just ignorant. Maybe other schools are like this. We've got this like 0-star gem player that all the big schools missed on. It's like I don't think every school missed on your guy, and he's that good. Like, there's a reason why.
K-State is the king of that.
Yeah,
K-State's always making more with less.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. Any other new players or any other returning players before we jump to some new ones? I think we talked about Dominic Richardson being a new one. I kind of want to talk about y'all got two offensive lineman brothers from BYU.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to dive into them.
Yeah, the Barrington brothers.
Yep. Yeah, Clark Barrington, it looks like he has a little bit higher ranking than his brother. But yeah, inside offensive lineman is a 4-star transfer from BYU, so he should be helping out on the line quite a bit. I didn't look at really anything as far as highlights or anything from him, so maybe Zach can give a little bit more insight both on him and his brother. But definitely one that is a plus in an addition to the line that is already there.
Yeah, I mean, he had 40 starts at BYU, so he's definitely an experienced guy. He is going from guard to center. He played left guard at BYU, and now he's moving to center. And he's pretty big center. He's like 6'4". So, I mean, obviously that presents question mark. Like, anytime you're shifting guys around the O-line, you've got some questions on is he going to be able to make the move? Campbell, his brother's, has less experience. He'll play left tackle for us this year, but he was on the freshman All-American team. I mean, it's just fun. It's fun to have brothers on the team,
Yeah, that is
for
cool.
sure. Absolutely.
I like to think they have like an innate connection that makes them just in sync on every block, but it's probably not true.
Also, getting a transfer center seems tough too, just because that center's got to be like he's got to be in charge,
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that's helpful is that the like BYU runs the same wide zone scheme that these guys are going to be running here. Yeah. So they're used to the offense. I think Clark probably was even there when Jeff Grimes was still at BYU. So he might
not have to learn much at all.
Yeah, might not have to learn much at all. Yeah.
That's cool.
I mean, those guys are going to be key.
How was protection last year? Were y'all pretty solid? I mean, I know Shapen felt like he was always peeling himself off the ground, but I didn't know if that was his own doing or.
Well, yeah, I think protection was solid. I think that the run blocking was really, really good last year.
Run game.
I mean, we had 5 guys last year that were all returners. Our O-line was expected to be really good. I think it betrays maybe pass protection as being worse than it actually was because Shapen is so quick to jump the pocket. He's just so quick he's a shortstop who just loves to try to be Patrick Mahomes. He tries to be Patrick Mahomes and he's not,
Yeah, I do.
Trying to like sidearm throw it and make these, and sometimes he'll make throws that are just amazing. But I do think that it maybe looks like the O-line performed worse than it did, but I think probably some of that is Shapen just needing to trust those guys more and kind of step up into the pocket as opposed to dipping at the first sign of pressure.
Yeah, I'd probably chalk it up to a strength still. Y'all's line.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Any other new players y'all want to highlight that you haven't already talked about?
There is a couple of freshmen coming in that we can talk about a little bit now. Zach can probably give a little bit more insight on if these guys are actually going to see playing time this year. But, I mean, fairly decent recruits, them being all 4 stars. And the first one is another tackle, and it's Isaiah Robinson, 4-star guy. And then they also have a cornerback coming in as well in LeVar Thornton, which can probably help out in being in the rotation, helping out with that weakness as we talked about in the DBs. And then they also got another tight end as well coming in, Matthew, and I'm going to butcher his name. I think it's Klopfenstein.
Yeah, Klopfenstein.
Yeah, so he also can be someone
right
coming
there.
in.
Yeah. I think a lot of those guys are probably, I mean, it's like one of those things where I hope they don't have to play.
Right. Yeah.
You don't want your true freshman to have to slot in because that means that something has gone terribly wrong.
Absolutely.
Sounds like your corner might be your one
yeah,
shot.
Honestly,
maybe playing.
Yes.
Honestly, I mean, he's probably immediately slotted into the third string role right away. But I think a lot of those guys are probably going to be a little bit more developmental, and they'll redshirt. Hopefully, they'll redshirt. So I think one other name I had in my mind was Mike Smith. He's a transfer from Liberty, who's going to replace Dylan Doyle probably at the middle linebacker spot. And I mean, he's going to have to be really good. All signs are that he's going to be a really impact player for us, playing that middle linebacker position. But we'll see.
Yeah.
Doyle was like as I said, was our most productive tackler last year. So a big hole to fill for sure.
Doing my little bit of research, everyone had Mike Smith as one of the top 5 players for Baylor this year, which is he's from Liberty, I think, right? And he had 85 tackles. I'm seeing 85 tackles, 10 tackles for a loss, and 3 forced fumbles. So those are pretty impressive stats. I mean, you were talking about your guy having 88 tackles. So I mean, if he can step in, and Liberty is a step down in competition, but
for sure,
things will probably transfer pretty well.
Yeah, I think a lot of those guys that, I mean, obviously it's you step up in competition, but I almost worry more about the ones that transfer intra Power 5 because it means something didn't work out at your last school. Otherwise, you'd be there, right? Like for a lot of these guys, like for Isaiah Dunson, the CB from Miami, he's one of those guys I'm worried about because he played special team for Miami all last year and then transfers to Baylor. And the question
is, to start for y'all.
Is the competition really all that different in the ACC than it is in the Big 12? I mean,
yes.
Okay.
It's worse, right, Isaiah?
Yeah, absolutely. It's worse.
It's like, and but since he's from Miami, former 4-star guy, you're like, surely he's good, but there's like a little bit more to the story there. So
definitely agree with that though, for sure.
All right. Any other players you want to highlight before we jump into like scenarios for a good season and a bad season?
No, I think I'm good on my side.
All right. Let's just jump into it. What do you think's going to have to happen for y'all to have a good season this year?
I think we've kind of touched on a few of these a little bit. Receiver play needs to be a lot better this year.
Right.
I think better decision making from Shapen. I also think on the defensive side of the ball, one of the thoughts I had was if we can figure out how to not play 2 high safeties the entire season because Dave Aranda wants to play man. Like he doesn't want to have to leverage like a bunch of guys in coverage. But I'm just so worried about our guys out on an island just getting absolutely torched by, A.D. Mitchell or Xavier Worthy.
It's a ripple effect too on what you can do.
Like, exactly. And so I think for us to have a good season, we've got to figure out a way to cover guys without dropping like, a bunch of guys into coverage. Right. Otherwise our front 7 is just going to get shredded. So that feels like a big key for me. I don't know, Isaiah, what did you have in mind?
No, I mean, I would agree 100%. I mean, the wide receiver play is going to be big, but also just being able to utilize now this tandem back in Richardson and Reese is going to be big, which we touched on a little bit earlier. I think the offense is going to go as the run game goes, taking pressure off of Shapen to be able to be a little bit more productive in that passing game is going to help tremendously. And then, on the defensive side, it's just going to be figuring out exactly what scheme they want to run because there are going to be guys in this Big 12 conference that can play lights out, and burn the guys on the edges and make them hurt. And so it's going to take a lot from the corners. It's going to take a lot from Aranda figuring out exactly what to do with that, with what he has, because as we talked about, that's there's not much right there right now.
Yeah, I think Aranda's coaching is going to be really key this season. Like last year, Ron Roberts was the DC. Mm-hmm. Obviously didn't work out because he fired him at the end of the year. Brings in Matt Powledge, who was the safeties coach at Baylor before going to Oregon to be the co-defensive coordinator. And it does kind of feel to me like Aranda is just trying to figure out what's working for him. I mean, he's got a pretty quick trigger on. I mean, he's like fired 2 coordinators in 4 years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. On the offensive defensive side of the ball. Like he's not going to let. Yeah, it's a roller coaster. It's a roller coaster.
I mean, y'all are on the odd year or whatever, so y'all should be good.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So 10 wins. I mean, book it. 10 wins. But I think like now this is the year where we kind of see whether Dave Aranda can put the pieces together and be a game manager and kind of coach his guys up and be a leader, as opposed to just being a really smart. Like, we obviously know he's a really smart defensive mind.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I think in all of it, it is going to come down a lot to coaching. Now, of course, talent has to be there as well to coach, but there's going to have to be just more excitement, if that's the right term I want to use, just from Aranda. I mean, you see him every time he's on the screen, and it doesn't look like he's much of a leader. It's just he's a very cerebral dude. You can definitely tell in his demeanor. Man. Yeah, absolutely. He's a cerebral dude, but I think a little bit more just enthusiasm to get the guys into it, on the sidelines is going to be key to it. And now, we don't know what's happening at practice and how the coaching is there, but from what we do see, we can speak on. And so I think there's just going to be a little bit more, there just needs to be a little bit more vocal production from him, which I think actually did happen towards the end of the season. Like, I was seeing him on the sidelines actually putting in a lot more emotion than I had noticed before. So maybe that's something that he's noticing himself as well.
That's a good take. I agree with that.
Yeah, I would say the only thing I would add is maybe y'all being able to control the time of possession. Like, y'all are pretty good at that, but as a running team, like, that's so important. You're going to have to be able to control the tempo, and you don't want to get into these shootouts with all these teams. You want to be able to run the ball down the field. I mean, you win the turnover battle and keep possession of the ball, and that is a recipe for success for Baylor, I think.
Yeah, I think last year we were top 5 in the Big 12 in time of possession.
So maybe I don't know what I'm talking about.
No, but I think you're right, because I think last year, last year the offense wasn't like, the defense is really what missed. Like our running offense was really not all that bad. But I think you're right. Like, we do need to win time possession, because
get the defense off the field.
Got to get the defense off the field. Got to get the DBs off the field.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've kind of touched on it a little bit. What do you think the fan mood is overall for Baylor fandom? Like, we've talked about Aranda some. Like, are people high on Aranda? Like, what is the mood? Like, if you win 8 games, are people going to be happy? What is the?
Yeah, I mean, I think like Baylor fans that really know this team are pretty excited. Again, you've got a lot of that, like, seeing guys in training camp just blow guys up and be really athletic, and you're like, oh, this guy's surely going to be a game breaker,
Oh, yeah, it's hype season right now.
It's hype season for every team.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
You listen to every podcast we've done, and it's like everyone thinks they're winning at least 8 games.
Yeah.
Even West Virginia is like, yeah, we're winning 8 this year.
Yeah, we'll get to the schedule, we'll see how different it is for me, but it's not that different, as a heads up. But it's like, obviously, it doesn't always translate. I do think, like, last year being preseason number 1 and getting burned like we did definitely brought some people down to reality. Like, losing 4 games, like the last 3 games of the regular season, and then getting blown out by Air Force in the Armed Forces Bowl is just not the way you want to end the year.
In your rival stadium. I feel so bad.
Oh, yeah. And then, culminating in TCU doing one of the more painful things. Yeah. Just doing one of the more painful things I've ever seen in McLean Stadium. I mean, it was tragic. It was tragic what happened. It was maybe worse than when Jalen Hurts in 2019, like, Baylor was up 28-3 at halftime, and we were undefeated, and Jalen Hurts comes back and wins the game at McLean, and they go win the Big 12 title. I mean,
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Heartbreaking.
It was worse than that, huh?
I mean, it was pretty bad, man.
Yeah.
Watching them kick that field goal to win the game, I think a little bit of me died inside watching that happen, especially to your rival. But so I think fans are pretty. I mean, I think there's just a lot of uncertainty. Again, like I said, on the team this year. Aranda, like after the Sugar Bowl win season, the Big 12 championship, Dave Aranda was like, "When's Georgia going to come calling?" Like people were saying crazy stuff,
Right.
And now it seems like the honeymoon phase has faded a little bit on Dave Aranda, and so I do think people are going to be watching to see how he does this year and if he can put it together.
Yep. Yeah, I'd agree. I think the word for it is anticipation, which, I mean, every person is anticipating what their team is going to do this season, but I think it kind of goes both ways. I mean, I think for those who are true Baylor fans, they are anticipating a season where Aranda is going to prove himself like he did in his first season, or not his first season, but in the Big 12 championship season. And so it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to be able to do in that end. But I think the critics are more so thinking along the lines of, well, this is just another Baylor team that we can see is going to be a so-so Big 12 team. And they're just waiting to see if they are proven right in that aspect. But surrounding, the fans, I think the expectation is an 8+ win season, which we'll get to that. But I mean, I can say I can see that happening.
Yeah, sounds like y'all are itching to get to it. So let's just go game by game predictions here. How do y'all feel about the Baylor schedule? Have y'all looked at it enough to have a feeling of okay, this is good or bad?
I mean, 8 home games is pretty favorable.
Yes,
that's awesome.
That was I was going to say. I was like, there's so many home games.
Yeah,
awesome.
Great for fans. Obviously, fans love that.
Yeah.
We've got a few tough road games, but I think overall the schedule plays out in our favor, I would say.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll start it off. Texas State should be a win. Y'all got anything to say about that one?
No, should be a win.
I got a win there as well.
And then a fun game, a big one, September 9th at Utah, right? Oh, no, at home.
No, we've got Utah at home.
Y'all September. Y'all don't leave all September.
Yeah, 4 straight home games.
Incredible.
Start the season.
All right. How y'all feeling about that? Utah game first.
Yeah, I think – so I've got this as a win in my book, and I'll explain my reasons for it.
Yeah, okay.
Isaiah's raising his eyebrows. He doesn't believe it. Hear me out. Okay, so Cam Rising, right, for the quarterback of Utah, tore his ACL at the end of last year. I don't think he's going to be 100%. So I think they're not going to have – if he even plays. Like, I think that's a huge question mark for them. They're playing Florida right before they play us, and I think – I think they're probably going to focus on that game, and ours is going to be right next on the calendar. And it's just going to kind of slip under their radar.
11 a.m. game for them.
Yeah, 11 a.m. game, and Baylor's not ranked, and it's like, they're not going to be prepared for the heat. I mean, all these factors. I also was doing a little bit of research, and Utah over the past 5 years has had a pretty weak September, like every year.
Notorious for starting slow. Yeah.
Yeah, they've lost a road game. They've lost their first road game of the season, like the past 3 or 4 seasons. And so it just seems like it takes them a little bit longer to get going. And so those are kind of my reasons for, I think, why we'll get a win against Utah at home week 2.
Good reasons. I like it. Isaiah, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, definitely good reasons, but I still have this one as a loss. I mean, that's just I think they just have more talent on that team. That is just going to be a little bit too much, maybe too fast, with Baylor still trying to figure out who that they're going to be, both on the defensive side and even really what they're going to scheme up in the offensive game. And so I have it as a loss.
That's fair. All right, and then next y'all play Long Island University.
Long Island University. Blue blood program that we scheduled there. Should be a win.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, I have a win as well on that one.
Should be a win.
All right, then you play Texas, Big Bad Texas. We all hate them.
We
go
do.
Baylor.
It's very true. Yes, there you go.
Right. Yeah, it's painful to put a loss here, but I do have a loss. I'm not completely unrealistic. I think specifically because I think Texas is the matchup nightmare of the century for us when it comes to the skill talent that they have
Yeah.
versus, what we've been talking about with our uncertain secondary. I think it's a disaster waiting to happen. I hope that's not the case.
Their tight end and receivers are just next level. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all going pro. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, all that said, I kind of have a 50-50 right here. I didn't put a win or a loss just because, I mean, it still is Baylor versus Texas and anything can happen. Now, when I got down to the end of my actual prediction of record that they're going to finish, I counted it as a win, and that was like my hey, I'm branching out right here. This is my sleeper pick. So I have a win right now, but I know the talent on that side of the ball in Texas, and it is going to be overwhelming for that Baylor team. But all that said, I think that they will show up knowing that it is Texas and that they can prove something to all those watching during that game. So at the end of it, I did count it as a win. So we'll see.
don't they play Baylor or don't they play Alabama before y'all, or is that week 2?
They play Alabama week 1, don't they? Or is it week
is
2?
I think
can't
it's.
remember.
I don't know.
It
I'm
might
not
be
sure.
week. It might be week 2 that they
If
play
y'all are
Alabama.
if y'all are following Bama, then y'all
Yeah.
definitely have a shot to catch them napping. But
Right.
Yeah.
and then y'all play at UCF, which is no gimme.
Yeah, I put this one as a loss. I think on the road at UCF.
First road game of the season.
First road game of the season, especially against we're going to be coming off a really big opponent. I have a hard time seeing us walking away with a win on this one. So I'm going to loss.
Yeah, it'll be a close one. I mean, you look at the Big 12 rankings, Baylor's at 6, UCF's at 8, and so it could go either way. I put it down as a win, just simply looking at the rankings, not really paying attention much to what UCF is bringing to the season. But it is, to your point, Zach, it is the first away game, and they are going to be coming off a big game against Texas, so it could very well be a loss. But in my books right now, I have it as a win.
Every UCF home game is going to be bumping too because it's Big 12
Yep.
Yeah.
opening season.
Absolutely.
They are going to be wild, unhinged, and UCF is one of the better schools coming in too. So
For sure.
Yeah, they have a lot.
That's just sketchy.
They have a great roster too. Like they've got a lot of talent actually.
A lot of guys coming back.
Yeah, that's what worries me.
All right, now we got versus Texas.
Texas Tech,
Texas
that
Tech.
is.
That's what I meant to say.
Yes.
Texas Tech.
Texas Tech.
Yeah, I've got this as a win. I think this is gonna be a close game. I don't see last year happening again, even at home. I think it's gonna be much closer to like the last 2 games in Waco, which were both like 3-point games.
Yeah, nail biters.
Nail biters. I don't know. There's just weird voodoo between Joey and Baylor. Since he left, there's just this weird.
I agree.
I mean that game when because he left right before the Tech game, and I don't know, man. There were some curses on the field for that one. We ended up walking away with the win.
Mama Juju.
It was close. So I do have it as a win, but I think it's going to be really close.
Yeah.
At home.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's going to be the 47-17 type of game that was last year, which, Brett, I'm sure you gloried in that win. But I do have – yeah, exactly. Yeah. I have Baylor winning this one as well. So, yeah, that's what I got.
If it means anything to y'all, I also have Baylor winning this one on my Tech predictions. I think we can beat y'all. I honestly think we have more talent, but there is something, like you said, y'all are in Joey's head. Like, he wants this game. He talks about this game. He talks about last year's game still. And I'm like, dude, you got to get that out of your head. You know,
right,
we got exactly. You got to move on. But obviously, that was just the one game all season last year that we just were not in. Like, we were in every other game that we played. And so I think that's under skin. And there's something though when you like hype a game up so much in your mind, you put added pressure that's just not there. And so I don't know. I'm worried about that game as a Texas Tech fan, but hey, we can still beat y'all. We're better. Let's go to Cincinnati. So y'all play Cincinnati at Cincinnati. Y'all got the new Big 12 on the road. It looks like.
Yes. Yep.
A couple of back to back there. So, what are you thinking for Cincinnati?
Yeah, I put this one I think this one's gonna be a win for us. I don't think Cincy's gonna be very good this year.
Me neither.
I think when people
Agreed.
think of Cincy, they think of like the team that went to the CFP and
Right.
Sauce Gardner and Luke Fickell, and like that's not this team.
Yeah.
This is a
Yeah.
very different team.
This is the Cincinnati that we have been used to.
Yeah.
Besides that, yeah, I have this one as a win as well. I mean, they're ranked 13th in the Big 12, and it's for a reason. So yeah, I think it should be a fairly easy win. Although it's on the road, I don't think it should be too much of a hurdle for them to overcome that. So yeah, it's a win in my book.
And then Iowa State, y'all play them at home.
Yeah, I've got this as a win. Homecoming weekend. It's a big deal for Baylor. I think we get the win on this one.
I actually put this one as a loss. This is another one. I know that, kind of looking at the rosters and even looking at the Big 12 rankings, Iowa State's ranked a little bit below Baylor. But this is one of the ones where I think that it's going to be, yes, homecoming game. That said, they are going to be ready to play. I mean, they want to win that game, but I think that they might be coming in thinking it's going to be a little bit easier than expected and fall asleep a little bit, while Iowa State's probably going to be coming in wanting to shut them down. So I put this one as a loss.
I would have been on your side until recently. Have you heard anything about Iowa State going on right now?
I have not.
I don't know if they're going to be able to field a team this year. They've got a
Really?
bunch of dudes. Their starting quarterback, a lot of their players are getting suspended for gambling last season.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
okay. Well,
they
then,
even had one guy just quit the team, I think yesterday,
okay.
because he knew he was going to get caught, and he was like, you know what, I don't even want to face the consequences. I'm just going to leave.
Yeah, well, that's news to me. Take the L off, put a W. So Zach, there's one more
There you
win.
go. Hey, I do feel for schools that have scandals. As a Baylor fan, I do have some empathy. So shout out to my Iowa State brethren. Pulling out.
Empathy for the schools, not for the actions.
That's right. Empathy for the other schools.
Yes.
The fans, especially, because you're like,
absolutely.
golly, our season's
right.
over before it even started.
Yes.
Yeah. I would be surprised if they win 4 games this year. But yeah, so hopefully that's an easy win for y'all. Then y'all have Houston at home. How you feeling about that one?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly haven't done a lot of research into Houston's team this year, but I mean, I feel pretty confident in our ability to win at home. So I've got that one as a win. I don't really see any reason why we should lose that game on paper.
Yeah, I agree. I also have that one as a win. I haven't heard, like Zach said, much either about Houston, but the things that I have, it doesn't seem like this is their year as they're entering the Big 12 that they're going to shine. I think it's going to take a few years for them to build something up. And so right now I have that as a win.
Yeah, I agree with y'all. I would say you might watch out. They have pretty good skill players at the receiver position, and their quarterback is a former Tech backup who beat Texas last year. He's really Donovan Smith. I don't know.
Donovan Smith.
And so he's an X factor.
Yeah,
he gives them a chance to win. I think any game, just about. But talent wise, y'all's team is better in my opinion. So what we got here? Kansas State next at Kansas State.
I mean, yeah, this one's going to be a tough game.
Yeah, absolutely.
On the road, K-State's going to be pretty good this year again.
Yeah,
I've got it as a loss. I mean, I think we've gone into K-State and played pretty well in recent years, but I mean, this is just a different K-State team.
Yeah,
the team of recent years. So I've got it as a loss.
Yeah, I got this one as a loss as well. I mean, yes, they lost some guys. One of their biggest production on the offensive side in Deuce Vaughn, but still, this K-State team is a pretty complete team. And it's an away game, and they're going to be ready. So yeah, it's a loss in my book.
All right. And then y'all also play tough back-to-back games here. You play at TCU also the next game.
Yep, at TCU. Oh, it pains me to do this, but I am putting a loss for Baylor on this game, mostly because again, like Tech, like maybe we have for Tech, TCU has for us. This weird voodoo magic that we've lost 7 of the last 8. A lot of them are games that we've been like we totally could have won, and just haven't been able to win. I mean, the scores from the last 5 games: 16-9, 29-23, 33-23, 30-28, 29-28. So like all really close
Fun games. Yeah.
fun games.
For us, not fans of Baylor, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. 4 out of 5 of those are TCU wins. So as a Baylor fan, like,
Yeah.
I have a hard time trusting Baylor going up against TCU as much as I want to believe that we'll win. It just hasn't been like, if I'm going off of history, I got to be a realist here and say it's not like. Also, if I set the expectations low, I can only be, I can only overachieve my.
Exactly, dude. I got Texas Tech. I have them winning less games than I actually think that they can win, but I'm like, I can't handle the failure.
Yeah, that's right. That's the bar low. Got to the bar low.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah, I have this one as a loss as well. Not the same TCU team, as last year, but same thing as Kansas State. Still a complete team. They know what they're doing. They know who they are, and so they're well coached. They have the talent. I think it's going to be a lot for Baylor to try to overcome. So I have that one, especially coming off of a Kansas State game. So I have that one as a loss.
All right, and then they'll wrap it up. West Virginia at home.
Yeah, I've got this one as a win. I think we'll take them at home. I don't think West Virginia is going to be as bad as people say that they are. I think a lot of people think West Virginia is going to be just really bad, and I can't see them being like bottom of the conference. I don't know why. They're never like, they have a hard time being great, but I just don't see them being like a 4-win
worse than some of these teams coming in.
Yeah, like a 3 or 4-win team this season
for sure.
So
honestly, I think their team mirrors y'all's team a little bit too. Like heavy focus on the run, questionable at quarterback, questionable at DBs, strong on their defensive line. Like that kind of, I don't know, just kind of mirrors y'all a little bit. I think y'all are a little better, but I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
What do you got, Isaiah?
Yeah, I got this one as a win as well, and completely agree with all the points that Zach made as far as why that is looking like the outcome will be that. So, yeah, I mean, last home game should be one that's entertaining. Don't think West Virginia is the most terrible team in the Big 12, although that's what they are ranked. I think we still, though, despite all that, come out with a win.
All right. So what do y'all have y'all's records at?
So I'm at 8-4. Yeah, I mean, I think if we go 8-4, I'll be pretty happy, honestly.
Yeah.
I really don't want to go 500 again.
If y'all go 500, you think that Aranda then comes under fire? Like, is there an expectation for him to have an above 500, or else he loses his job?
No, I don't think he's on the chopping block.
Gotcha.
Yet, we don't have as quick of a trigger
for sure
on firing the head coach as some other schools. But yeah, I just
the fans will want it.
Oh yeah. The fans always want it. The fans are hungry for blood.
Absolutely.
They need someone to blame.
Got to.
They're already asking, like, oh, should we have hired Joey? I'm like, y'all, it's one season. Like,
hey, I haven't heard a single fan asking, should we have hired Joey? I think
dude.
I think you're planting that. There's no way.
I'm just telling you.
All right, let's match up Tech. Let's match up Tech and Baylor's recent accomplishments and see which head coach is worth hiring.
Hey, we've only had one season with Joey, and we had more wins. Maybe not against y'all, but we had more wins.
Talk to me when you got a Big 12 championship, buddy.
This season, what?
This is the season. I do think Texas Tech's going to be pretty good this year. So this is the season.
We're overhyped. It's scary. I can't. I'm ready to get hurt again, man.
As always,
all right.
Yes.
What do you got?
Yeah, so I have an 8-4 season as well. But that said, I did actually change that Iowa State to a W. That said, that Texas game can also very much so be a loss. So I'm going to stick with an 8-4 season.
All right. I mean, 8-4, that is not unreasonable. So we'll just have to see what happens. Y'all got anything y'all want to wrap it up with? Anything you want to say to the Baylor fans, or any final thoughts?
The only thing I will say is that Baylor has the number one punter in the country coming in. So are we going to be punter U? I don't know. Maybe. Some are saying that we're, last year we had a great punter. This year we got a great punter. So starting a dynasty, maybe.
That coveted title is punter U.
Punter U. That's probably not the title that you want to have at all. Oh, man. But that's all I got.
That's all I got.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining, and thank y'all for listening. As always, like and subscribe and share and all the stuff, and see you later.